In a dynamic and rapidly evolving society, the imperative for inclusive leadership has never been more pronounced, recognizing the untapped potentials of young women as a catalyst for change. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Citizenship and Leadership, Rinshola Abiola, conveying the groundbreaking event at the prestigious NAF Conference Center in Abuja, themed Young Women's Leadership Conference.
This event, the first of its kind, if I may say so, has been organized in commemoration of Women's Month and the International Women's Day. And as an office dedicated to youth leadership development, we felt we would be remiss to not organize an event focused on empowering and spotlighting our able, capable, dedicated, beautiful, and amazing young Nigerian women. This event is all the more important because we have a president who is committed to gender mainstreaming, as evidenced by the appointment of an unprecedented number of women into key positions. I am one of them, as I serve as a Senior Special Assistant to the President on Citizenship and Leadership. And I make bold to say that a significant proportion of my colleagues are female, young women to be precise. And going into the Federal Executive Council, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, also made history by appointing a young woman, a capable young woman, in the person of Dr. Jamila Bayo Ibrahim as Minister for Youth Development. That is in addition to other capable women manning key ministries. An administration of many firsts, the President has also appointed women to head agencies like NIPOST, FAN, and NEMA, among others, for the very first time in our history.
Against the backdrop of unprecedented generosity towards the women's leadership under the current administration of Bola Tinubu, this inaugural Young Women's Leadership Conference marked a pivotal moment in the quest for gender parity and empowerment. On this electrifying day of inspiration and empowerment, stakeholders from across Nigeria gathered to address a long-standing challenge: the gender gap in leadership. Among several speakers at the event was the Minister of Youth.
The President has been supportive when it comes to women development. When we talk about women capital building and in young women, the Minister of Youth today is a woman, young for that matter. The young, vibrant lady that just left here, I won't mention their names, but if I mention names to you, you know, you can see yourself that we have many of them. We have Princess Atika, we have Titi Badamosi, we have a lot of them. We have that are in this government and take decisions. We have those that are even in office. And you will see the passion in them for the growth of young women.
With a renewed commitment to closing the gender gap and harnessing the leadership potentials of young women, Nigeria stands at the threshold of profound societal transformation. The conversation ignites and connections forged during this landmark event serves as a catalyst for future action and advocacy.
2 years ago, I stood at a crossroads that no one in my life understood. I was a corporate lawyer in the bustling city of London, working at Clifford Chance, one of the world's most prestigious law firms. It was an environment that demanded excellence. I was surrounded by the brightest legal minds in the world. For my Nigerian parents, that meant everything. However, having closed one of the largest finance deals in history at 25, having helped Saudi Aramco sell their pipelines, I knew my path was for something more. I wanted challenges that transcended the normal metrics of success. I wanted to help people. I wanted to dedicate myself to service. And I wanted to open the back door for other people who look and sound like me. So I embarked on a journey fueled by a deep-seated desire to contribute to Nigeria's nation building, and I did so through the electoral campaign. During the campaign, working alongside some people in this room right now, I witnessed the first-hand power of collective action, the importance of advocacy, in shaping policies that impact all of us. I had advocated and had opened the back door for other people who looked like me.
With panel discussions spanning key domains of political, social, and economic leadership, the conference aimed to ignite a transformative dialogue and propel young women towards positions of influence and impact in Nigerian society.
Young women in leadership, young women in politics is a topic that I'm always enthusiastic to discuss. And I'm very grateful to my sister here for creating this platform. When I saw her appointment, I was ready that we see unprecedented progress. I would like to applaud her for her consistency over the years. She's been championing and mainstreaming young women to be in leadership. So please, a round of applause to my sister.
So you have a lot of young people coming out to run, but a lot of them drop off during the nomination process. So I think that is where it really matters. So, you know, after the candidate nominations process, you really don't see a lot of young people. And there's also the issue of where these young people are. I mean, yesterday I was reading something, and I was reading a research, and they said most of these young people and women, you find them in smaller parties. And most of these parties, you know, their election, you know, we've seen their election outcomes, you know, the chances of them actually contesting and winning is very low. So it is not just the issue of women contesting, because it's very easy to pull out figures from smaller parties. You know, they can give you very good numbers, but the major political parties, you know, who have very strong structures and you know, who have that incumbency advantage and who regularly win elections, you don't really see a lot of young people on their ballots.
It's never about capacity. It's not about capacity, because women have shown that when they lead, they do it so well. We've seen from COVID times, you know, New Zealand, the former Chancellor of Germany, you know, and so many others. When they lead, they do it well. It's about something called self-purification. Martin Luther King said that for us to move together as a society, we must self-purify ourselves. And that means you must throw away those things that are not good learnings. And once we start purifying ourselves as a society, that's when we start having real discussions. So like my sister here said, it's beyond policies. It's not capacity. We have capacity. We are complete when we are all. We do it every day, every minute, every second. So it's not capacity.
According to the convener and other participants, the current administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has demonstrated commendable generosity towards women in terms of appointments into leadership positions.
I have a confidence to convene this conference because I know that my principal, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a true he for she champion in every sense of the word. And he has not only appointed women for the sake of tokenism, he has placed highly qualified and competent women in important positions. Someday, God willing, we will have ministers, directors general, executive secretaries, presidential aides, lawmakers, presiding officers, deputy governors, vice presidents, presidents, captains of industry, and highly successful business owners and homemakers from among the young women who are seated here today, by God's grace.
It is imperative that the people in position of authority pay serious attention to issues of good and patriotic citizenship through training and development, because leaders actually emanate from the citizens, especially the women population. It is in recognition of the critical role of young women in nation building that Mr. President, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, during the last Federal Executive Council meeting, approved 30% women and 2% youth participation in governance, in line with the Renew Hope agenda of the present administration.
This acknowledgement reflects a positive step towards creating more inclusive and diverse leadership structures within the country.
When initiatives like this, come online, it's going to benefit everyone, irrespective of their level of education or the size of the business that they run. And then, of course, when we talk about legal protection and engaging institutions like the police, all of us have to engage these institutions, whether we're learned or not. So the work that we're trying to do to ensure better relations, to ensure more impactful programs, to ensure better inclusion, these are initiatives that the fruit of it, will positively impact young women, irrespective of what class, the social class they belong to, or their educational attainment levels, whether they speak Queen's English or they speak Pidgin English. It is for all young women as one. And then, of course, the office is also very big on communication. So we're going to ensure as well that the outcome of this meeting is communicated properly.
My coming here today is an eye-opener, and I want to encourage the young ones that this is just a starting point. They have a good life ahead of them, but they must be ready to do the work. They must be ready to be mentored. They must be ready to follow the leaders and know the intricacies of politics, to know the interests of leadership, and to learn. Just like you going to school, you have to learn before you can lead. So when they are equipped, and I also appreciate this government for bringing young girls, young women into power in this, our present dispensation. It's a very, very laudable event.
The government now that has come into place, I can see they put a lot of women, they encourage them in positions, appointments, which is very encouraging. So with those kind of activities, you can see women being involved.
As the curtain draws on the inaugural Young Women's Leadership Conference in Abuja, the echoes of inspiration and empowerment reverberates far beyond the confines of the conference hall. Leaders are charged to carry forth the spirit of inclusivity and empowerment, ensuring that every young woman has the opportunity to shape the future for the brighter tomorrow in Nigeria and even beyond. I am Nsidwo Doity, reporting for 9 News Nigeria.